to Nurse Daddies.
I've kept silent, but now that we're here, let's talk about it. Sure, okay, we're broken up, but these are the facts of how this all led to this now. People have always wondered because he never said any of that on his statements. It was always just the creative direction that we're all going different ways. But there are things that really happened, so it's almost like one-sided because it's hurtful. It's something that we worked together and we took ownership of something that we built together. Being a nurse, we're always like empathetic. We always try to give an extra length of the leash that a person could potentially do to you.
It takes two to tango, di ba? Kayo nag-start
Oh.
mo.
So isang tanong, isang sagot.
Okay.
Do you see yourself working again with Colton?
So where do you want me to start?
Nurse Squad, this is Siege Manto, your digital nurse from London.
And I'm EJ Abarientos, your nurse photographer in the UK.
And this is a show created by nurses for nurses.
This is the Nurse Daddies Show!
So for this episode, bro, meron tayong guest na nagbabalik.
All the way from
USA!
yes, and very special sa atin, bro. Sa puso natin.
Yes. Kasi yung episode natin today is, we'll be talking about something.
Ano kaya yan?
Abangan. Okay, so let's introduce now our guest, bro.
Sige.
So, all the way from the US, welcome back,
Daddy Dazo!
Miss
Thank you for
Universe.
having me. Yes, I'm gonna look already.
Dad, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you
Daddy
for
Dazo.
having me again, and thank you for the opportunity to, do another segment with you guys.
Yes, and also we want to congratulate us, bro. Kasi last December 6, we had a very successful charity event.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. It was very hectic. I mean, it took us 2 weeks even, or maybe even just
Like
10
10 days, yeah.
10 days. But you guys did so well, and again, thank you for the Filipino Creatives UK,
And the
the
Glow
Glow
Aesthetics,
Aesthetic,
yes.
and of course the Nurse Show, and the other sponsors who,
Contributed,
Yeah.
Yes. I want to ask Daddy Dazo, what keeps you coming back to the UK?
well, it's only 6 hours away. But London is the first country that I visited in 1997 when I had the opportunity to travel abroad outside the Philippines and the UAE, because I used to work in the Middle East back then. And this was the first country that I visited. And it's just, for some reason, everybody speaks English. And the Filipino community here is very, very welcoming. I have a lot of friends from over the years. I've still talked to some of them, others I don't, and I have new set of friends. And you guys are here now, so what better way to do but come back and visit London, and always there's always fun things to do around here.
Yes,
Every time nandito si Daddy Dazo, masaya tayo, bro.
of course.
Kasi alam natin magka-karaoke tayo.
Yes, of course. Yeah, why not? Yes.
Because I think karaoke binds the Filipino
Yes.
community.
Yun yung nangyari sa event natin, di ba?
Yes.
And thank you sa lahat ng pumunta. Thank you sa lahat.
Thank you, guys. And yung episode last time was very successful because it was one of the top videos hindi lang sa YouTube, pati sa TikTok, pati sa Facebook, pati sa Instagram. And sa last episode, guys, if hindi nyo pa napapanood, we talked about Daddy Dazo's experience as a nurse in the US.
Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity as well. I talked about my experiences and how is it being, trained in the US. I mean, trained in the Philippines, working in the Middle East, and then transitioning into the US. But, I guess I've shared some of my experiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trending nga yun, Dad, kasi lalo na yung na Filipino Mafia.
Oo.
Yung, di ba?
yeah.
Ang daming nag-comment dun sa
Sa TikTok, sa
statement
Facebook.
mo.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a very touchy topic to talk about because if you really think about it, there's always anywhere you go, there's always groups of people that tend to gather together. And again, as I've said, Filipinos, we're very tribal, we're very regionalistic. So, and it just gets like this. I don't know who started it anyway, because even on this comedy shows, people talk about the Filipino Mafia, which where I work, I don't have one. I have 3 or 4 of them with me.
Ang isa pa nag-trend dun, bro, yung TikTok TikTok dance natin with Daddy Dazo.
Yes.
Which one was it?
Yung pumunta tayo sa ano sa,
Sa labas ng...
Excel?
Yes,
Yeah.
oo.
Yeah, we're gonna do one tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Later.
we're gonna do one.
Yeah.
Pero yung sa
When?
videos, Daddy Dazo, there are still comments asking what happened to Nurse Daddies. Ganon. So,
at yun ang pag-uusapan
at
natin
yun ang
ngayon.
at yun ang something na pag-uusapan natin today.
All right. Okay. I think, yes, I'm open to that. I think it's about time that we talk about it because as we usher in the new year, 2026, I've kept silent. I only made one carousel about it where the other party had made at least 67 videos about the breakup.
Wow, you counted the 67.
My friend said, and my PR person, I have a PR person said that. Yeah. And I really didn't talk about it because I felt like, I was blindsided, I was shocked. But I guess people keep asking because even when I do my lives on TikTok and Instagram, people would still ask me what really happened. So maybe we should, get this down and, leave this all behind for 2025 and move forward. But I'm not here to talk about or even to malign and vilify his character. I'm here to just give out facts of how it all started and what I think precipitated his decision to lock me out of the account, which we both started. So where do you want me to start?
Well, I'm sure everyone is excited. To give a little bit of suspense, let's talk about Nurse Daddies first because maybe some of them don't know what.
Yes, a brief of history, Dad.
Brief of history. When did it start? Why is it called Nurse Daddies? Ganon.
Yeah, okay. So it started, I think, not last year, the year before last, right? This is 2023. Last year was 2024. I think it was like towards the middle part of the year. I usually work 4 a.m. early in the morning. I pick up my overtime and I usually in at 4 a.m. and I work. And one morning, Colton, okay, that's his name. I feel like I don't want to talk about his name, but anyway, that's
okay, Dad.
person,
Just for now.
Yeah. I was there early. I already had my set of patients, and he didn't have any assignments. So he offered to get me breakfast. And so I gave him my badge, and I wrote down the things that I want for breakfast. It was very specific. He's like, there's just certain things that I eat for breakfast. Like, I want my omelet, this and that, and then I want Coke Zero. And so little did I know, I took my badge and went to the cafeteria. But on his way up, he was like, oh my God, I don't understand why this Filipino gay daddy would give me his badge to get his food and this and that. And then came back and I knew he was going to say something because like I kind of have the feeling that he's going to make a video out of it. So later that day, like around 3 o'clock, he showed it to me. He's like, I made a video of when I went to get you breakfast. And it kind of looked funny. That was a Friday. She said, can I post this? Well, he was actually like, asked for my consent. And I said, sure, post it. He posted it on his TikTok account. Then his TikTok had only 3,000 plus followers. That was a Friday. He posted it at that time. We came back on a Monday and it was like 10K. So it went viral.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nag-trend agad.
Yeah, it kind of like, I think it just seemed funny and, I was a little bit sassy. I know there's a certain, thing about me, maybe, I don't know how I was, how it came on the video that made people like the video, but it really went viral. And then little did I know, he had already other videos of me that he'd kept because then before that, we've been like, he was a traveler. He was a traveler at our emergency room and we became friends. And he was kind of inexperienced when it comes to like the gay lifestyle or just in general being young and gay. And I kind of like took him under my wings. And I don't even claim that. His ex-husband told me that. When one time I was coming to London and his ex-husband was the flight attendant and we finally had a chance to talk. And he even said, like, you took him under your wings. And I said, I did, and I kind of showed him the ropes, I took him to his first Broadway show. I took them to like his first Michelin brunch in New York. We did like a lot of things and it was fun. He was very receptive. And also I felt like, I took him under my wings because he's very young and he's very inexperienced. He came from Arizona.
How old is he?
I think now he's 29, I think, or 30. I think his birthday's coming up in January. He's going to be 30, I think. So that's how it all started. And then all these other videos he would post, and then it would just go viral. And then we would work together, and he would post videos again of me and him. Like that time I was kind of like sickly. I get so short of breath because I was diagnosed with something. You know, we're not talking about my Asian people. But, you know, I would be short of breath and he would make fun of me, which I let him because I have this faith that, you know, this is all just for fun. And we're going to, you know, it's light-hearted, it's humorous, it's comedic. And as nurses, we work in a very highly stressful environment. And I think a little bit of that, you know, could probably bring a little packet of sunshine to your day.
Yes.
To whoever's watching. So that's how it all started. And then when we went viral, he came back and like one morning he was like, maybe we should make an Instagram account. And I said, sure. So what are we going to do? So we kind of brainstormed and we said, okay, because you called me a daddy, I'm a gay daddy, whatever, and we're nurses, let's just do it Nurse Daddy. So we went online and checked for like, just to make sure that no one has it yet. And indeed, it was still free. So we did Nurse Daddy. So we didn't register it as a trademark. I don't know if he did, but maybe he didn't because he changed his name. It's changed now. But that's how it all started, this Nurse Daddies. And from then on, it's meteoric. Like, you know, it was just like on and on and on. And we just like instantly we get recognized. Like I would go travel and people would like recognize me from the airport, like flight attendants on the plane. Like one time I was transiting in Korea. They were like, I was going up an elevator and this woman was like waving because like she knew me. I went to the public market in the Philippines and this one lady, like she was a fishmonger and she like recognized me. So, you know, that we got so popular, like kind of quick and fast.
So for how many months yun that naglast? Or year?
I think almost a year.
Yeah.
Almost a year. Over a year, I think. Because, you know, I think when this all started, the kind of like the disagreement, and I would say, well, he got mad or some to that effect. It's like I remembered vividly was in March of this year. We were in New York because we had a brand deal with a money transfer service. And when we were in New York, we shoot the commercial, the ads that they were going to use for us. And that night, we decided to go to Times Square and we did a dance. Like, you know, I think I remembered it so vividly because it was the song from Doechii, the Anxiety dance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's with Doechii, right? Doechii, is it? That's her name? So we were dancing in Times Square, and I think that was a video that, you know, we did. And then I think a couple days later, or like some weeks later in March, I posted it on my personal page. And I think this was the impetus of why he got mad at me.
Because you posted it in your
Personal page.
Without his, ano.
Yeah. But there were a lot of red flags that I've seen, but I kind of just didn't really pay attention to it because, you know, I have faith in him that he's not going to do me dirty. You know, being a nurse, you know, we're always like empathetic and we're compassionate and we always try to give an extra length of, you know, of the leash that a person could potentially do to you because, you know what, I felt that he was doing it for us to progress. And I've always been very clear, though, no, when we started, I was a little bit hesitant. I had a little bit of an apprehension because I didn't want our hospital know where we work. Like, you know, the people at the hospital that we work there, that we are the Nurse Daddies. But there was one time we have a group chat on Facebook for all the hospital workers in the hospital. And one of the nurses wrote, oh my God, the Nurse Daddies work here. So I was a little bit kind of like, ooh, I was a little like, you know, like I don't really want to be identified. But, you know, that was just short-lived because then, you know, a couple of days later I said, yeah, fine, let's fine. She's like, well, are you 100%? I'm like 110%. Let's do this. So that was it. But he keeps going back to the fact that I didn't really want to be in social media when, in fact, I've been doing social media since 2012. When Instagram started, I'm an early adopter. I've started my Facebook when you need a Harvard email to be on Facebook. I started Instagram when it came out. So I've been doing Instagram since 2012 where, you know, people on the comment section were saying that I don't know how to post. Like, no, I've been doing social media for a long time. My social media then was different. It wasn't centered about it. It didn't touch on nursing. It was more about a lifestyle. But then when Colton came into the picture, we tried to incorporate that, the nursing part of it. And I've always said to him that it's going to be kind of like a lifestyle brand, you know? I will do, on my end, I will do my travels, my dining, my little foray into fashion, and he could do whatever he wants. And I said, we'll share the page, which he said on his first statement when he was sick, that the Nurse Daddies were splitting up, that he said we're going to continue to use the page, like even though we have separate creative direction. That's what he claimed. But to me, I don't think that it was really that, because he was aware that that's what I want to do. And then we built that together. The only issue was that when we built it, he had to use his email and his phone number. So now he have access to that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have access to that email and the number. Whenever he had to change the password, I would have to ask him. Or if I had to log into my phone, I had to ask him for the code, right?
So siya talagang parang naging social media manager.
Right. No, he didn't really manage it. But, you know, the videos that I would do, like, I would send it to him and he would post it. He was doing all the editing for the videos.
The editing is an
On
uploads.
the other hand, I was doing all the editing for the photos.
Okay.
Oh.
So it always was shared. Yes, but maybe because the bulk of our posts were reels, so then he would have to do that. He would do it on CapCut. But it's always been agreed upon. Yeah. And again, I think... I don't want to say that I was taken advantage of, because if not for him, I wouldn't be visible, you know? I would always thank him that for him to do those videos, it kind of highlighted my sassiness, my quirkiness, whatever it is that people like looking on the videos, in the videos that we made, you know, he had me there. So, you know, I'm grateful for that. But what I didn't like was when he took over, which is very confusing to me. Because why would you take over an account that we both built? And not to shape the, however he wants to shape the narrative, however he wants to share the story. If I wasn't in the videos...
Wala rin.
I mean, you guys make the decision. You make the judgment. Yeah, so that's how it all started. I think that, because like when I posted that video, he kept asking me, I want an explanation. Why did you post it on your personal page? And I said, then our following was we're kind of like at the 120,000, and we weren't moving. It's been like weeks that we were moving. So I said, maybe if I post it on my personal page, it will be a different audience. Our audience are smart people. Our audience, our demographics is spread out mostly, but it's concentrated on like the 35 to 44 age range. So those are people that are, you know, they're not young kids. Yeah. It's because, you know, I'm older and he's younger. So it's kind of like spread out. But I think there's a huge percentage of our audience, which I think were very smart to figure out that if I posted something on my personal page, it would direct them to the Nurse Daddies. But he thought otherwise. He said that it would stray our following, that there's really no point. And I said, well, and he keeps asking me, what's my explanation? Why did I do that? And I said, I really don't have anything to tell you, except I said what I said. And that's it. And that sent him over the edge, because he kept saying that I talk above him. I think he's always had an issue of me being like bossy, because like some people, like the people that we've met along the way would always, there was one person who said like, oh, I know who the boss of this duo is. And he'd always think that, you know, I'm being authoritative, that I speak above him, that I make... I don't. It's always a shared decision. He said to the effect that I don't hold space for his feelings. Okay. And I'm like, I don't do that. Like, I've always respected you. We've always compromised in certain things. He doesn't want me to. There was one time I was in an event, a work event, and I posted not even a reel, or just my co-workers. And this is also his co-workers. And then all of a sudden I got a text, why are you posting these people on our page? You know, you're not, see, like, it's not part of the aesthetic. And then I'm like, always like wonder, what is our aesthetic? I thought we have agreed that this is about us being nurses, in that we have a life outside of nursing. And this is the things that we do. And then one case in point was we got something from a Filipino small business in New York, and I made a reel for them, and he didn't like it because, again, it wasn't part of the aesthetic. So I took it down. So, for him to tell me that I'm being bossy, I have a lot of lived experiences. Like, there's the generational gap because I'm older than him. And maybe that's what he thinks, that I'm bossy, because I would, tell him that, this is what we're going to do, I guess. And from my experience, from what I have experienced. But he just couldn't get away from the fact that, because he brought this up again when we had a conversation, that, I'm being authoritative and I talk above him, that I always think above him. Then finally we agreed that, I guess that was done. But then every time he would come back, and it's very confusing because he would always ask me. One time we were doing a shoot for the scrubs that we were brand ambassadors for, and again he keeps asking me what is my objective, and I said, just like I've told you before, I want this for my community outreach programs in the Philippines that I do, because it has a wider reach. Case in point with this, if I had that following over 100,000, I would have reached out to more than a lot of the Filipinos, and we have a lot of Filipino followers. And sure, he was like, okay, we'll share the space. But I said that, we'll just do whatever you want to do, because I think ultimately he wants to be a podcaster, because that's what he wants to, he feels his authentic self if he's talking about something.
Okay.
But I always have told him that this is also what I want. And I don't think that there is a difference it's different, but, creatively, like, we're trying to pursue our creative and aesthetic sensibilities. Like, we want what we want for ourselves. And, we have already created a space, and I think people are open to, like, they could, however they want to take the information that we share, it's up to the audience, But at least we have that platform that we could use. But, it didn't turn out to be that way, because I think the end goal for him was for him to take over the account, which I didn't appreciate, because that is something we built together. And again, however you shape the narrative, however you spin the story, that account would have not progressed and would have not, to where it is now, if not without the videos that I am on.
Yes. Masyadong mainit.
Yeah.
But-
And I don't really want to sound angry, but it's very frustrating because, I put my effort into it too. And for me to be locked out of it 2 days after he made a claim that we're going to share the space is malicious. And I would say that. It is malicious. Like, why would you go on public telling people that we are going to share the space and 2 days later lock me out of it? And also, people didn't know this, but I didn't have access to our Facebook account that he made. He made a Nurse Daddies Facebook account, I think from his original Facebook.
Okay.
And right now, I think that has grown to over 20,000. And I have never had a single time had access to it. When we had that discussion about me posting on my personal page, he said that he's going to try to figure out the password. Always his word was, I'm going to try to figure out the password. I couldn't figure out the password so that you could post there too. But all throughout the time that we were together, I never had access to Facebook. And that would have been a red flag.
But yung Facebook niya, that is still, Nurse Daddies pa rin yung name.
No, I think he changed it to Colton Lord or something. And then the Nurse Daddies account, we rose to actually over 153. And right now, I think it's 137 from, my friends checked it. And I also have seen it because it would pop up every now and then. But I was fine when he posted our first video on his TikTok. And that made his account flourish. His TikTok went up to 128,000 from just posting our videos, And I have no issue with that because that's his to begin with, even though I help him with that. Before he posted my videos, he was already doing it for months and he only had like 3,000 followers. But when he posted my video, it went up to however it is. I don't know what the number right now, but I think it's over 120,000. What I don't want is, I didn't really like and I didn't appreciate, which is very confusing, is that he changed the name of the Nurse Daddies to Nurse Colton and took ownership of it.
But can I ask, Daddy, did you ever ask for the username and the password of the social media accounts?
Yeah, because
Yeah, and
I
then-
could access to it.
So what was his response back then?
After, like, he just
When we
didn't
asked.
respond. Like, he didn't. Like, all my texts, I said, please delete the Nurse Daddies account. I don't mind the TikTok. I have receipts. I have text. He would never respond. And also, the thing how he did it, to blindsidedly lock me out when I was, or like to make the announcement to the public without even letting me know that he's going to make an announcement, was again very, I mean, obviously you guys make the decision as to how you would say it, but I was away in the Philippines. This all started in March. We'd have disagreements, we would talk, and then we would talk, and we would meet, and then we were okay. And then in July 1st, he sent me a text that this partnership is not working anymore. I didn't respond to it because I was flying the next day. I was going home to the Philippines, and I figured I will respond to him when I come back. I didn't even have the chance to respond to him because by July 12th, which is already the 13th in the Philippines, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got all these DMs from all over the world, my friends, saying that, oh my God, the Nurse Daddies is broken up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. He made that announcement. And then again, he made another announcement. He made another announcement. He made all these videos saying that, it's going to change and this and that. And he did all that. I only made one carousel and I said, sure, okay, we're broken up. But these are the facts of how this all led to this now. So the audience will have to make the decision for themselves, as to how they would take it. But I'm just saying that it was completely blindsided. It's hurtful because it's something that we,
Work together.
we worked together, and the time that we did it, we had fun. We had fun with our audience, and we had fun with the people that we interacted with. And I feel like it's just unfair that he had to do it that way. And if he wants to really grow in his own, then he should just go back to his own personal account and leave the Nurse Daddies that we both worked on. Just because he used your number and your email doesn't mean that you have to take ownership of it. That's what I have to say.
Yeah. Let me ask Daddy, if you could turn back time, what do you think could you have done to prevent the breakup? Was there something that you think you could have done?
To be honest, really in hindsight, I don't think that there's anything I could have done, because I felt, this is just my feeling. I'm not accusing him of anything, because I really don't want to sound, but I felt like I was just being taken advantage of. Because, again, I mean, testament to what happened with his TikTok account when he posted my video, it went viral. And you can see from the comments of the audience, I don't want to claim that it was because of me, but I mean, it's there. The numbers are there. But also, again, I have to be thankful. I have to be grateful for him because he highlighted me. Even though, he would always come in my defense when I'm body shamed, because people love to body shame people, to hide in the cover of, the internet. And supposedly he has embraced my culture, He tried all this Filipino food, which I am grateful for. But, I think he had other intentions from what happened, because now you can see that he took ownership of something that we built together.
I saw some videos, like there were videos like he's having fun of you, throwing you stuff. How do you feel about that? How do you feel when he does that to you?
Of course, you've seen me annoyed. I would always blurt out "yawa, kapisti" and everything, which people
I saw
find
that
funny.
when you were asleep. Yeah.
But I would get a lot of DMs from my close family friends and my coworkers' families, even my coworkers. They're like, "Why is he doing that to you?" But for me, it's because we're doing this for content. He wants to make fun of me. I'll let him. That's why I told you. I gave him that longer leash of whatever he wants, the creative freedom, whatever that is, if that was creative freedom for him to do stuff to me. Because, we're growing an account. We want our account to grow. We want our followers to have a little bit, it's funny to some. Maybe it's not for others. But, the objective was to be, light humor in the essence of being nurses. And then being, we worked in the emergency room. So we tried to find that little bit of, a balance between, a serious kind of work and, being funny sometimes. So I thought that was it. And I was, I was fine with it. I didn't complain, And it actually kind of like, it would look funny if you look at the video though. And if people, I think, like that, at my expense. But hey, that was what we did. And, it worked until it didn't. Yeah.
We have one question from the press on
From our team.
Like how has this change influenced your approach to teamwork?
With what happened, this experience, I think that there should be an open line of communication. There should be clarity of intentions. That we should, this is what we want to do. I thought that we had that, but I guess we didn't.
How often do you talk pala?
Yes.
We were always constantly
Like talking every day?
Yeah, we were always texting, or if we're not or sometimes I would say, hey, I'm working, you want to come work for your 4 hours? Because he would do a lot of, for instance, shifts. He wasn't really working full time in the emergency room. He was doing another stuff, but he would come so we could do content. And our managers were okay with that. Because we were trying to we didn't really expose where we work. We were very careful with not having patients in the background. We did some stuff in the stock room or the hallways where it doesn't have any identifier as to where we were. And we were okay. And they would come and talk to us and I'm like, oh, this and that. So also, but then I guess going back to that question, we should have open communication. You compromise a lot. In clear intentions as to what you want to do. I guess if anything, you should probably share the same creative direction, which I thought that we were to begin with, because he was fine, but then really his objective was to do something different from what I want to do. I've always wanted to do a lifestyle. In fact, before I was Nurse Daddy, I was a wanderlasting epicure, where my account was more about traveling, dining all over the world, in a little bit of fashion for the rotund, because it's hard to get dressed when you have a big belly. And, yeah. So that was my take, and then then he came along, and I said, okay, but let's still incorporate this, because I think it shows that we have a life outside of nursing.
When you talk pala, Dad, pag nag-usap kayo, do you talk about your goals? Like, what's our goal for Nurse Daddies? Or you just talk normally, kung ano lang ang gusto nyo i-content?
Yeah, initially we had this, we were looking to work with brands. And I think he wasn't really, he felt that we shouldn't take, brand deals just yet. Though the brand deals came without even asking for it. We had a brand deal with the money transfer service. That person from that company emailed us, at least, almost a month before I replied, because he thought it was just nothing. He kept saying that I don't understand that space. This was I said. I said, well, I do, because that's what I've been doing ever since I became a nurse in the U.S. I've always been sending money back home. So we should probably talk to them. So I wrote the woman, and right away he gave us a deal. She gave us a deal with the Dialba, the Spritz. He kind of ignored, because he had access to the emails. I had access to the emails, but I let him do the writing, which also, I forgot to tell you, there was one time in October of last year where he wrote to all these brands, but only with his name in the email, without me. So I confronted him and I said, why did you write to all these brands and you didn't include my name? We are a partnership. He apologized for that. But so, again, that's another red flag. Because why would you write to brands and ask for this and that, and then write it solely for yourself. So you were like, you have every intention of doing it on your own. And we were supposed to be a partnership. And that people didn't know because I didn't want to talk about it. But now that we're here, let's talk about it.
Dapat pala magkasama kayo kasi it takes two to tango, di ba? Kayo nag-start
Oh,
noon. No?
kaya nga, it's really hard. I think a partnership or whatever it is, if there is a team, it's really a lot of work. Yeah. Again, you just have to be very sure that this is what you're headed and this is what your goals are. And I think you have to constantly talk about it. And if someone veers off, and he would tell me that, this is not, but I said, but I'm not a podcaster. And yes, I mean, you could come with me to the trips, but I think that, he did. We did a trip to Paris. We would go to like do fun stuff together. But I'm not sure if, again, now I'm thinking maybe he didn't like that. He was just forced to do it because that's what I wanted to do. And we never had any discussion anyway. He would just say, okay, yes. And also, like, when he felt that we need to break up, I really don't know what fueled that. All I could think of is that when I posted, because that all it kind of like just steamrolled into then this and that, and then it's just, okay, we're broken up. But from how I understand it, I think it all started when I posted a video of myself. And then it's just all these other things came out. Like we had a discussion that you're always, authoritative and this and that and all these claims. I'm like, why didn't you tell me all this before? And why are you just bringing this up now? And then I thought that we already had talked about it because when we had a discussion after that, we even did a live inside his car. Then all of a sudden, we were supposed to go for an interview, for a podcast interview. And then he said, oh, we can do that because of the state that we are in right now. And then I asked, this was in June. I'm like, exactly what state are we in? And he didn't respond. And then in October, we were supposed to give a talk to this university in New York to talk about, social media and because it was for their emergency room nurses week. And he canceled and wrote the contact person over there that we cannot because of things Glenn is not able to do. This was when I was still access to the email. Then after that, he cut off my access to the email too. So if you really think about it, these are all the behind the scenes. And people have always wondered because he never said any of that on his statements. It was always just the creative direction that we're on going different ways. But there are things that really happened. So it's almost like one-sided because I was willing to share the space with him, whatever it would take. We can share the space. Why not? Like, we already have built an audience and they already know what we like and what we'd like to do and what you like to do. And it's up to our audience to really whatever they want. They can take from whatever, they could learn from whatever we would share with them. And why just take, solely on your own when it could be a shared space for us to grow.
After the breakup, Dad, nag-usap pa kayo?
No. Never once after.
Now, Daddy, we heard of Colton's side. We've heard of your side. I have one question. This one question requires one answer. So, isang tanong, isang sagot.
Okay.
Do you see yourself working again with Colton?
Unfortunately, no.
Dahil dyan?
Magbabalik ang The Nurse Show. Babalik ang The Nurse Show.
Okay, Daddy Dazo.
Yes.
So we've already heard your story. Now, I know it's 2025 is going to an end. You're planning to leave everything behind and move forward, move on.
Yes, definitely. That's the plan. I think, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk about it because at least I could put this all behind me. It's something like it's a huge weight that's taken off my on my shoulders. It weighs heavy on my heart because it's really hurtful because I felt that I put my 110% to it as well. Not just, with everything that we did together. And I hope that in the coming year, it'll be a rebranding of the Daddy Dazo. It will be more focused on the lifestyle that I want, that I've lived all these years. It'll be about travel, food, a little bit of fashion, and more importantly, my community service that I do to the people of the Philippines. I really just want to give back because I think the sole purpose of us to be able to feel like we've done something in our lives is to be able to help others. And I've always come from a place of gratitude that no matter how much I've like I all I can say is that I am not generous because I have a lot to give, but I know how it is when I didn't have any. That's why I always find it, that whenever I'm home in the Philippines, I try to do something, or if I can help someone, like the fundraiser that we did.
Bangon Cebu.
That's Bangon Cebu, which is very successful, and that is one of my plan and goals for the next year and the coming years. I think there's always community service, and if I could also probably venture into helping out like new graduates from the Philippines trying to navigate their nursing career. I've loved nursing.
Yeah.
This wasn't my first love, but I've learned to love it, and I've loved emergency and trauma nursing. So I could always talk about it, and people would come to me and ask for direction or advice or whatever it is. I'm there. So the main the goal in the direction that this the rebranding of Daddy Dazo is going to go moving forward is community service and a little bit of light humor incorporated into the nursing life, the everyday practice that I do. Especially right now, there's this talk about taking nursing out of being a professional degree in the U.S. So there'll be more of that, and I would try to make probably more skits about nursing, and also keeping the theme of me being a lifestyle brand, and that's what I intend to do for the coming year and the years to come.
To be honest, I'm starting to see that Daddy Dazo, kasi after the Nurse Daddies breakup, I can see you like traveling a lot. You went to Korea, you went to Australia, you went to the UK. So I can see a little bit of like freedom. It seems like you came out of the cage or came out of the box. That's what I see.
I think that's an accurate description of what happened after the breakup. Yeah, because I have more free time to do whatever I want.
Exactly, yeah.
Before, I would always have to consult him, and we'd always have to check schedules
Correct.
together, which is also what I would tell you as a duo or as a team, that it's easier to have a shared schedule. We have a shared schedule. And I could see that he's doing this day, he's working this day, he's getting a haircut this day, and we share the schedule. So, but still it's hard to organize. Yeah. But yes, with me being on my own, I've been doing a lot of things. And I kind of just also want to highlight the age group that I'm in, because my demographics has a lot of nurses from 35 to 50 to 54 to 55. And, those are people who's been in their careers for a long time now, and they probably would like to do something else as well. So maybe I could help them, especially with skincare for men and women, above 50, or things like that. Or maybe they want to travel with their families and they just don't know. So, that's what they will see in the near future. I'll try to maybe focus on that more. It's lifestyle brand.
I think it's one of the challenges of having like partnership or a duo. It's important to have like same vision, same mission, and you understand each other. Because I want to like highlight what you mentioned earlier, that Colton does not understand of like the part when you're sending money to the Philippines. I think from a perspective of like
That's
someone,
true, because that's something that they don't do.
Yeah.
The Western culture doesn't do that. But it's embedded in us Filipinos that, pag nakaangat tayo, we always try to help others, and our family especially.
Yeah. So that with this experience, what do you think is your takeaway?
So, so being in a duo, it's really very challenging. And from what I've experienced, I would say that always keep an open line of communication. Be always open about discussing what you plans, your goals. You need to have clarity of intentions, that you're at least unified in your goals, and you know which direction you're going. and just be not accepting of each other because it's hard, but at least be open to, we all have our quirks, we all have our, we have all certain traits, and just be open to the
Differences,
person
yeah.
and differences, yes, and just be open to and be accepting of that
Yeah.
person or whatever the group is,
Yeah.
because that's part of the dynamics of teamwork.
Yeah.
I guess you always have to have shared goals and intentions.
Open communication.
Open
yeah.
communication.
Aside from that, also like what you mentioned, like compromise, meeting,
Yes,
meeting
compromise.
halfway.
Right.
Like for example, EJ is like he's a father. So, me, I'm single, so sometimes he gets busy. So we understand each other. Like, okay, bro, let's meet halfway. Your schedules and all your responsibilities.
Right.
Like that,
Yes, that's
Yeah.
very true. Yeah.
We can say that there's no perfect naman
Not
talaga na partnership.
Right,
But
I know.
as long as you understand, and
Right.
syempre, pasensya and open communication yun.
Yeah, that's true. And like how me and Colton were, and that he always think that I talk above him, which really also I think it would help because you are in the same age group. So we'll be okay.
Almost.
It's easier. Like, but for us, there was like a
There's a big
huge gap. So maybe like I don't know. Maybe he had some childhood trauma that I don't know where all this was coming from. But I've always compromised with him, and we've always talked.
Cultural differences.
Yes.
And also cultural differences as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that you have to take into consideration.
And how about that? How about financial? Do you talk about it?
Yeah, we
Surprises.
do. We do. Like, yeah, this is like it's for us. It's always been equal. Whenever we do something, it's always equal.
50-50.
And you're
50.
open about it, like
Yeah,
what you receive.
yeah, because like it all goes to him. He only just has to send it to me.
Okay.
He took care of all the financial stuff. Like like when the brands would pay us, it's always to his account.
And do you have the
even when-
transparency for that one?
I trust him. Again, I told you, as I
But
said
that's
earlier.
not the answer. The question was, is there transparency?
Like-
it's different.
Yeah.
I didn't see any.
He will show you the figure. No figure, or just
No, I did.
trust.
I don't know. I don't even
Because you don't
remember.
ask. I think you don't ask.
I didn't ask because again, I had faith in him, and I have faith in humanity that a person would do me good, and
Yeah.
and then it's I don't know. I will just if he would send me money, then I will just take it because, and I figured like this is what we were making,
Yeah.
and even in fact when we were not talking, he had sent me some. I think those were residual earnings from our brand deals. So I think
And I think because you're happy with what you're doing,
Right.
and you have your own salary as well, it's like
yeah.
whatever he give you, it's like it's
That's
okay. It doesn't matter.
As long as I'm happy.
As long as I'm
Yeah.
happy with I'm
What
doing.
I'm
Yeah.
doing, yeah.
Right, because I was really just I was having fun. Like honestly, also you have to remember you have to have fun when you're doing it.
Exactly.
Because
Because
if
it gets hard, burnt out.
because if it becomes a chore, and if it becomes like almost like a task, and then you don't feel like you need to put the joy in it because
Yeah.
you have to find the joy in doing things.
Yun ang pinakauna talaga. Masaya kayo sa ginagawa. Masaya kayo sa partnership niyo.
Yeah.
Kami naman ni Sitch Dad, just to share lang, kasi from the start, nag-usap kami ni Sitch na maging open kami, especially, we have our own salary naman, di ba? Pero, in terms of the Nurse Show, we need to be open to each other. Hindi kami mag-away sa pera.
Oo.
Kasi kung ako, kay Sitch, pag may, bro, kailangan mo sendan to, or ako naman, kailangan kong bayaran to, anong problema?
We will not fight because the share is 100% for me.
Yeah, I was just like that, and then there was one time.
Do not fight kasi wala.
Like every time when we travel, it's always like split 50-50. Or sometimes I was like, oh, I'll take care of this because you took care of that. So ganun.
So, okay naman. Sometimes you need to be generous. Anong problema?
Our partnership was, we never had issues with money. So I think that's one good thing because, because if that's another issue, then, it could be worse, right?
Yeah.
But ours was more of like, again, he keeps saying that it was creative direction,
Okay.
which, that's what he
Okay.
says.
Okay, we learned a lot.
Before we end this episode, so what are your plans? I mean, like, meron ka bang upcoming mga shows or like anong plano mo as Daddy Dazo?
I think my last trip is this, you guys. And then in January, I think I'm going home to the Philippines. We're doing another outreach.
Yes.
And I have, it's kind of an X deal, but I'll talk about it more when it happens. and that's for January. So I'm just taking it like, one day at a time, slowly. I'm not reaching out to brands. I am just trying to establish my following, and I want to kind of like, make myself visible out there. I'm gonna try to focus more, I think, on talking about skincare, because I've done a lot of that. Like, I've done a lot of procedures in Korea. So that's probably what I will, for the next couple of months, and then from there, do other things. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope the questions in the comment section are all answered with this episode, no? And it's New Year, so
Yeah, and the reason why I'm here is not to malign his character, to vilify him for whatever decision he had made, but I'm just here to share the facts as to why, from my standpoint, why this breakup happened.
What's important is you're happy.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
I am happy.
You're happy.
Yes.
Everyone is happy.
Yeah, it doesn't
is
take a
happy.
lot for me to be happy.
So,
Just a Birkin bag.
so thank you so much. You mentioned Birkin bag, but I think you'll be happier with our gift for today from the Nurse Daddies
It's
show.
more than a Birkin
It's
bag.
more than a Birkin bag because it's a limited.
It's a limited edition. That's the only one we have now.
That's the only one
You
left.
didn't have to worry about me.
That's
Yeah.
the
It's okay,
only
Dad.
one left. But soon we will release
Merch.
more merch,
More
Nurse
merch,
Daddies
yeah.
show merch. But of course, because you're special,
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
get our gift now.
This is exclusive. The Nurse Show
tote bag.
tote bag.
I'm gonna open it for you.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna.
I hope you're gonna use it.
Yes, I will. Oh my God!
Show
Thank
it
you
to
very
her.
much here. You guys,
Wow.
thank you. I could now be a performative gay male with my tote bag, right?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody has a tote bag. I don't know why it's coming into style again. Like, everybody's carrying a tote bag. So, yes, thank you, Nurse Show,
No, thank
for
you so much.
the tote bag, and thank you
you.
for having me again, as Steph said.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dad.
Please remember that the Nurse Show is always
Here for you.
support you and all the nurse
Yeah.
content creators.
Yes, and I love that you guys have this space for all the other Filipino nurses or whoever wants to come on the show
Yes, Dad.
and get our voices heard and having us recognized all over the world.
Okay, so it's time to promote your social media account, Daddy Dazo.
I only have two very active ones. Daddy Dazo, Daddy DADDY.DAZOO on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yes, there'll be more exciting things hopefully in the near future. And stay tuned.
Yes. Let's do TikTok
We're excited.
together later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everyone. As naman, don't forget to follow the Nurse Show in YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and also follow my page, Siege Manto.
Yun na. Nasabi na ni Siege. And also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm a photographer in the UK. It's EJA Creatives. So, and always watch and follow the Nurse Show on our long form videos and Spotify as well.
Basta bro, let's have open communication.
Oh,
Ito yung-
Open kami. Open-minded ka ba? Open-minded kami, Siege.
Okay, so it's time to say goodbye. Everyone, this is Siege Manto, your digital nurse from London.
And I'm EJ Abarientos, your nurse photographer in the UK.
And this is a show created by nurses for nurses.
This is the Nurse Show!
For more interesting nursing stories, follow the Nurse Show.
Nagustuhan niyo ba yung episode natin ngayon? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell para updated kayo sa chismis.
This is your safe space, mga ka-Nurse Squad. We feel you, we hear you, and we are you. This is the Nurse Show. Dito ka belong.